Welcome to Diets Are Fattening, and now I have a new little series I'm starting, and this takes the place of what I ate Wednesdays because I feel like I've done, I think, 15 of those, and because I'm just one person, I think they get repetitive because I do have eating patterns. So I thought I'm going to switch it up, and I thought a really great thing to do would be to go through the quiz at the end of the workbook and have that be a starting point for asking you a question, and while you're just sitting there thinking about it, going over the correct answer, the healthy thin mentality answer, and why it's the healthy thin mentality answer. So if you guys are familiar with the workbook, this is in the very back. This is the Diets Are Fattening, the first 12 weeks of your healthy thin mentality. So after you go through that, or as you're going through that, the quiz in the back just helps see how you're doing, if those concepts are sinking in, which of course is the goal. So the first question, and today is week 1 of this, so we got week 1, question 1. Okay, so it's a multiple choice, and it is, I eat. Okay, then there's 4 possibilities. A, when I'm hungry. B, before I get hungry so I don't overeat. C, at specific meal times. D, because I exercised. Okay, I know if you've seen my channel at all, you probably know right off the bat which one it is, which is A, when I'm hungry. But we're going to go through the others as a point, as a way to inform ourselves, okay? So B, before I get hungry so I don't overeat. Now, you may have very well thought that in the past, or if you're new to this channel, you may think it now, because diet companies and diet programs frequently have the motto of don't get hungry because then you won't be able to control yourself and eat exactly this little meal plan we have for you or whatever. And that is back-ass words. You absolutely want to wait for hunger in order to have the best, happiest eating experience and to reconnect with your body as we were made to do. Eating in response to hunger, not eating when we have satiety, and of course following cravings. So we'll get into that more as the weeks go on. But specifically, this diet mentality thought of, oh no, this diet, you don't get hungry on this diet, or eat before you get hungry. So of course the other half of that is you don't get hungry on this diet. And of course that's horrendous, because when your body shuts down hunger, think of what that means. That's a huge, huge warning sign. That's a signal that things are bad. You don't even have hunger anymore. Hunger is a beautiful drive, just like all your other beautiful drives. And when you lose a drive, such as hunger, something is wrong. That is not a good thing. You do not want to seek that. You want to avoid that. You want to keep your hunger alive, because as long as you have the ability to answer hunger with food, in other words, you can afford it, it's a beautiful drive, and it's a source of great pleasure. So that's why B is incorrect. So now C is I eat at specific meal times. This is another answer that lots of diets would promote. You eat at 7, noon, and 7, or intermittent fasting would say, you don't eat from the 7 p.m. till 10 a.m. the next morning, or whatever. Okay, the thing is, you may fall into eating at designated times during the day, but those need to come from you, not from an outside source, because we are all different. We all have different ancestry, different activity levels, age levels, size level. Everything about us is unique, right? So if you eat at specific meal times, you end up eating out of rote. In other words, you're not eating for hunger, you're eating because it's time. And that disrupts your ability to hear true hunger, answer it in a most fabulous way, and get on with your day. Now, I know you may be saying, well, that's super inconvenient because I get lunch at noon and blah, blah, blah. Let me remind you of something. Those breaks from work, or the times we sit with our families at meal times, are basically social situations. In other words, you can still have a break at noon from work or wherever you are and experience the joy of that to actually satisfy hunger. Like, let's say you're not hungry at lunch at work, okay, and it's noon, that's lunch, you have to go at noon. Do something. There's so many things you could do with that hour besides eat if you're not hungry. If you're hungry, of course, eat. But let's say you're saying, okay, well, that's just not practical. You think of it this way. You have that hour, and I know if you're new to this, you can't imagine sitting at a lunch table and not eating. But believe me, when you connect with your healthy thin mentality, that's no big deal. But in the meantime, let's say you aren't hungry at noon, and then you realize like at 1:30 you're hungry or whatever. It takes very little food to take the edge off hunger. Newsflash, very little food. We think it has to be a big meal. But if you get hungry at a time other than a mealtime and you cannot, because of your schedule or whatever, sit down and fully satisfy it, you can always have something with you in your pocket that can be just to take the edge off hunger. I do that all the time. So, you keep something in your car, something in your purse, something in your desk at work. And if you say, well, absolutely zero food is allowed, okay, well, that's very unusual. And I know there's like the one that I always think of as nurses in an ICU unit or something. Yeah, there's issues there. Do the best you can. You will work into a flow, especially if you have a stable routine where you come to be able to satisfy your hunger at appropriate times. But as you're doing that, a handful of peanuts in your pocket or a banana in your car or in your purse or whatever, all you're trying to do is take the edge off hunger. You're not trying to fully squelch it. You're waiting for maybe a great eating opportunity, an actual sit-down meal to do that. But as you're getting used to that, take advantage of seeing how really little food it takes to calm your hunger down. That's a good learning. That's a really good learning. So again, life is busy. If you, like I always say, one of the things if you're doing the workbook is every day, make sure you have emergency food with you so you can calmly wait for hunger. It's so much nicer. So again, this and I have a different schedule now than when I first started doing this. And I'm telling you, I had a crazy schedule, kids and family around and all that. My kids are grown now. I'm telling you, of course you can do this. You just have to make it a priority to take care of yourself and to connect with your body. And it should be a huge priority. It's really important. So keep emergency food with you and learn that meal times are just suggestions. They're times where everyone's just taking a break and being with each other. But again, there's plenty of meal times when you will be hungry. So you also will get the benefit of the social setting with food. Yeah, because that is really fun. No joke about it. That is fun. I'm not saying to avoid that. I'm saying when you sit down with your friends and you're not hungry, do not eat. That is not connecting to your healthy thin mentality. And again, I'm going to tell you, if I'd have told myself that when I was a dieter, I would have laughed and gone, yeah, right. I'm telling you, when you stop dieting, things like that are possible. Please believe me. Okay, now the last one, D, the other incorrect one, was because I exercised. Folks, pairing eating with exercise that you're going to do or that you did do is completely dysfunctional. Your body knows exactly what exercise you did, right? Your body will give you the cravings and the hunger you need to adjust to whatever activity level you are engaged in. It's such a beautiful thing. You don't have to eat because you exercised or because you're going to. Let your body guide you, and you will find, and you will see this quickly, that if you have a really active physical day, for me, it may be different for you, you will find out. For me, the next day, I'm usually more hungry than a day after a day where I have not been so active. So normal, and it's when I even say this at this point, it sounds so silly because it's so common sense, but this very basic common sense, of course, has been trained out of us. So when you're sitting there going, well, and I used to do this all the time, and I was a fitness instructor for years, and I dieted for years, I know this arena. But I remember, this has been 18 years for me now, but since I've been a healthy thin mentality eater, but I remember being teaching classes or whatever and going, well, I'm going to teach class later and I'm really hungry right now, but I should just eat. No, your body will handle that. And if you find, however, if you find yourself in an exercise situation where you get weak or you find that you don't feel well, then yeah, figure out a way to satisfy that either in the moment, and usually something like a electrolyte water will do just fine to get you over that hump with a little sugar in it. But the eating preventatively or eating because like, oh, I'm not really that hungry, but I worked out a lot, a couple hours ago, so I should really eat. Listen, your body knows what you did. Your body will send you the cravings for what you need. And again, it's really enjoyable to get to know what those are and to listen. So that's the reason that the only answer here that is good is when I'm hungry, because that's, of course, the beautiful drive that we were born with and that we are reconnecting with in your healthy, thin mentality. So glad you're with me. If you like this, please comment back. Give me other thoughts and questions. Love them all, even negative, totally fine. I'm open. And come back soon and like, share, subscribe, all that stuff. Help me get this message out there. It is just really life-changing. I know I say that a lot, but I really want to emphasize that it not is just about your life with food. It gives you a better sense of everything, of control, of your own personal power, of your ability to actually get other things done, so because you're not worrying about this stuff all the time. You know, the workbook guides you through the first 12 weeks. So yeah, you're thinking about it a lot. But very shortly after, you know, if I weren't doing these videos, I'm a healthy, thin mentality eater, I would never think about it. It would be no big deal. Versus being a dieter, where a whole lot of my life was, what did I eat? What am I going to eat? What do I weigh? What clothes fit? Blah. Don't do that to yourself. You can do this, I promise. I will be back soon, and thanks for watching.